I'm Tom from Do-It-Yourself Home Automation, and I'm showing today how to take an old cabinet it's from a house I'm moving into, and to do some basic steps to refinish it without having to replace these. So this is a cabinet from, I think, the 80s, probably original to the house, which was built in 84. This is, you can see on the inside, it's a bathroom cabinet. It's totally unfinished wood. So not great if you're going to be putting like toothbrushes and that kind of stuff in there. But I don't want to necessarily replace the whole vanity, so I'm just going to redo it. And what I'm going to use for that is this Rustoleum spray paint. I'll show this here. It's Painter's Touch Ultra cover, so it'll be able to get into the grain here and make this a nice white interior, and also add some protection to it. And then ultimately in another video, I'll show how I'm going to paint the fronts here to be a nice color, a nice blue to match the inside of the bathroom. But firstly, you're just going to protect this interior. So you can see this right now is just bare wood. The first thing I'm going to do is just wipe out the inside here, get any dirt out of it. So just cleaning this out, get all the dust out. Okay, now I flip this over, and I'm just going to mask, not the whole roller here, but I'm going to mask this part that's going to be actually contacting the inside of the drawer so that these don't get stuck with the paint. So I'm just going to use some blue painter's tape, mask those off real easily. I'm going to flip this back over. Okay, now I'm ready to prepare here. Just a couple quick notes. I've got a drop cloth down to protect from overspray, and I'm also outside. I'm in an open garage, which is what Rustoleum recommends to make sure there's adequate ventilation. If you're not getting enough airflow, though, you probably do want to wear a respirator when you're doing spray painting. Then I'm just going to spray the inside of the drawer, but first I'm going to take the spray paint and shake it for 1 minute. So I'll grab that, start shaking, pause here. Okay, now I'm going to begin to spray, and I'm just going to spray 8 to 10 inches from the surface and just go in a back and forth motion. So like this. And I'm going to go through the whole inside, the sides and back here. Again, make sure you have good ventilation and get the first coat on there. Okay, so this is what it looks like after our first coat. You can see you're not going to get, with this raw wood, you're not going to get 100% coverage. So you can still see a lot of the grain coming through on there after the first coat, but we wanted to make sure we get into all of these little surfaces. I didn't do the front because, again, I'm going to paint that a color. I'm just trying to protect the inside with this white semi-gloss coat. So this is what we are seeing after the first coat there. Partial coverage, looking pretty good. Now we're going to give this about 20 minutes to dry. You can go up to an hour ideally, but I find 20 minutes is fine. Let it dry, and then we'll do a second coat. Okay, so a couple things to check. This has been drying for a while. Just make sure that there's no areas where you missed any spots. This looks pretty good. Also make sure there's not too many areas where the paint is pooling. It's pooling a little bit on the edges here, but I don't see anything like dripping or anything, so that means you're getting pretty good coverage. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the second coat. Okay, and there we go. After the second coat, you can see really good coverage. You got a tiny hint of the wood grain, which I think is fine. It's kind of nice to know that it's still wood underneath there, but for the most part, this is totally covered and protected. We got good coverage on the sides. I think the only spot I saw is a tiny drip right over on the edge here, but otherwise, just keeping it the right distance away, you get pretty good coverage there. And this is what it looks like, and I've done it for 2 drawers now. So you can see it looks like, you know, not quite totally new, but certainly much better than that raw wood on the inside. The next step is that I'm going to let these dry for 24 hours, remove the masking, and put them back into the cabinets. And then in another video, we'll go ahead and paint the fronts the decorative color to match the design for the room. So that's how to refinish, protect the inside of a cabinet or a drawer using spray paint. Stay tuned for more of these home renovation videos. If you found this helpful in any way, you can also subscribe to the channel. You can see more at diy-ha.com. Thank you.